When you go onto YouTube and Instagram and you see all these people running and cycling in all these great places, or whatever they seem to do all the time, they seem to have all this time to get outdoors. It is sunny outside and I'm going to go for a 10k run, I think, 9k, 10k, I don't really know. So it's going to be super beaut, but mainly in this run, I want to talk about 5 of the reasons that I can fit running and cycling into my life pretty easily. And the reason for this is that there are loads of ways that you can fit more activity into your life, but these 5 reasons make it particularly easy for me, and it's important to know them so that you don't find yourself comparing yourself to me or other people who seem to have this ability to fit all this stuff into their life pretty easily. So with that said, let's go. It's rained a lot recently and everything is very muddy. The first reason that I managed to reasonably easily go out running and cycling kind of whenever I want to is because I don't have children of my own. And do not underestimate the power of not having children of your own. My partner has children, and so there are children in my life, and I do a lot with them, and I try and be as present as possible and helping them out with homework or whatever, taking them places, doing cool stuff with them. But ultimately, I have an immense amount of freedom because I don't have actual dependents. So for instance, this morning, it's a Saturday morning, my partner has taken them both to, their activities that they go to on a Saturday morning, and I'm free to do whatever I like. And I almost always go running in those couple of hours. And obviously, even if they didn't go to those, I could still go running on a Saturday morning because not my children, I don't have children. More often than not, it's just easier for me to go out when they're out because then, obviously we don't have other plans. And that's not to say it's the same for every step parent. Obviously, every step parenting situation is very different, and some will be much more required time-wise than I am. At the end of the day, we only have one car between us, so we can't exactly split, taking kids to different places. But the way my life is structured in my family situation is that I really have very few time constraints when it comes to kids. And so many people, so many parents say to me that they wish they had more time to run, and they feel guilty they need to make more time to go running or to go do whatever sport they want to do. And they fail to, I think, quite realise just how much more free my time is because I don't have children. They beat themselves up for not having enough time, but at the end of the day, if you have children that obviously live with you, that you need to look after and do stuff with, that's going to eat up a hell of a lot of your time. And I have made a video before on how to be more active when you have kids, based on my own childhood, which was obviously a long time ago now, but my parents remained extremely active when we were little, and you can go and watch that, I'll put it here. But obviously people are different. My parents were already very, very active and they worked out, but that's not to say everyone can do that. Anyway, so that's the first reason why I have quite a lot of time, really, to go and do the stuff I want to, because I don't have little people running around demanding my attention. The second reason, and probably most major really, that I have time to run, or I make time to run, should I say, is the flexibility of my job. So I work full-time, 5 days a week, in my day job, my salaried job, but I work fully remotely, so I can work from home. Oh my god, I'm too tired running up this very small incline to do this while running. So I can choose where I work. I work from home half the week and I work from a co-working space the other half the week. And I might do that depending on the weather or depending on my mood or how many meetings I've got on that day or whatever. My job is very flexible while I still work, 40 hours a week. I have core hours, so I need to be online and available to chat with any of my colleagues between the hours of 9 and 2 p.m. And so after 2 p.m. I can go running or go on a bike ride. Obviously after I've done that, I'll come back and carry on working later into the evening. But often that works for me, especially in winter, because obviously if you have to work 9 to 5, 9 to 5:30, whatever, in the winter, then you're not going to see the sun. One of the great things about my job, one of the many great things, but one of the great things about my job is that my company are very keen that people still see the sun in winter. So I will often literally put into my work calendar so everyone can see, if they need to know where I am, that I'm out running in the afternoon. And I'll carry on working or whatever. That's another reason why I can make the time to go running and cycling any time of year, but particularly in winter, is because I have very flexible working hours. The third reason why I have quite a lot of time to go running and cycling whenever I want to, not whenever I want to, you know what I mean, is because I earn a decent amount of money. Now, I don't earn loads and I live a pretty frugal life, but at the same time, I earn enough for me to feel quite financially stable. And that's through my day job as a brand copywriter. And the reason why that's connected to having time to go running is because this morning I didn't really want to go running. I wanted to go running, but I couldn't. I just felt really flat, like I didn't have enough energy. I was really tired. I just didn't have that drive to go out the door. And when you don't have that, which is universal and common, it makes it really difficult to go outside. And I managed to overcome that because I'm not very stressed at the moment. I don't have many heavy things going on at the moment, including financial worries. I feel quite financially stable at the moment. So that means I have more cognitive energy and space to overcome the lack of motivation and get myself out the door to go running. And this is really, really important. People say that money doesn't matter, it doesn't make you happy. And sure, whatever, but at the same time, that's utter bullshit. If you don't have money, I grew up in quite a tight financial situation when I was really young. And I saw the stress that levelled against my parents. When you don't have money, it's very difficult to have the mental space to do fun stuff because you're spending a lot of time worrying or a lot of time trying to mitigate that absence of financial security. And nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about the fact that yeah, anyone can do this stuff. Anyone can go running, anyone can go cycling, anyone can do a triathlon. And while I think physically that's true for a huge amount of people, not everybody, but a huge number of people, the reality is that this stuff takes mental energy. And if you don't have mental energy because it's all wrapped up in financial insecurity, then it's going to be so much harder for you to do this kind of stuff. So I currently have plenty of mental energy, and I historically have suffered from anxiety and depression, still do to a certain extent, and that eats away at that mental energy. But financially, I'm not super concerned at the moment. It doesn't weigh down on me at the moment. And so I don't have that eating up my mental energy. And that's another reason why I have more time than some other people perhaps to go outside, because I can spare the mental energy required to get me out the door. The fourth reason that I find it easy to find time to go outside is that I'm empowered to do so. And I'll explain what I mean. So when I say I'm empowered to go out and run, what I mean is I grew up in an extremely active household where my mum and dad both did, still do, but did loads of exercise, training, races, all that kind of stuff on bikes. My mum was also running, but my dad was running too. I saw my mum run more often. So I grew up seeing adults running. Wasn't just like a playground thing for me, it wasn't just a sports day thing. I saw my parents running and cycling on the weekends and training, and they took my sister and I along with them. You know, we did those things too. I didn't run that much, but I was definitely empowered to be an outside person and to trust my body and feel what it was like when it gets stronger. Man, why is it always so windy when I'm filming? And know that I can get stronger quite easily, which everyone can. But often it's not until you feel that and you see that happen to you that you can truly believe it. Because exercise and strength building is really obviously a compounding thing. And just like with the financial side of this, it might seem difficult to link being empowered with getting outside to finding time to run. They're so closely interlinked because I do have running ticker tape of anxiety and criticism in my head, obviously, when every single time I go out. But it's not as loud as it could be, and it doesn't stop me from going out very often. It's very rare that will stop me from going out. But I'm not really worried about how I look, or I'm not really worried about whether I go slower or faster than anybody else, or about road safety when I'm on my bike, because I'm so used to being out on my bike. And because I have faith in my body and my strength and the fact that I'm on my own journey through fitness, then that doesn't take up much of my time worrying about that either. And so again, all these things compound to give me quite a lot of time in my week and day to go running. Because I was empowered to be outside all the time as a child, and, you know, lived looking at OS maps, I'm empowered to create my own routes and really enjoy creating my own routes. Not knowing where to go, that's a big issue for a lot of people, and it's not for me, because again, I'm empowered to build my own routes, to create them, to trust that I can find my way home, all of these things. So that frees up a lot of my actual time and mental space as well. Just slipped over in that mud. That is 50% cow shit. I did it pretty elegantly though, mainly because there were some walkers coming towards me, and so I sort of did a balletic fall. God, so much cow shit. But that leads me straight on to number 5. Another massive reason. This is ridiculous. I'm holding the camera with a hand that's like literally covered in like the remnants of slurry. Anyway, one of the massive reasons why I have quite a lot of time to get outside is because I don't have to go anywhere to get outside. I live in the countryside in a town that has, like, on the border of a national park, and there are beautiful trails from my doorstep, and that makes a huge difference. I don't have to drive anywhere. I don't have to own my own car for a start. We only have one car in our household because we don't need two, and obviously having a second one would free me up to go to different places. But frankly, I just really make the most of where I live. Sometimes I run from my co-working space, which is in a different place. I, run in lots of different places on Sundays, days when we don't have kids, stuff like that. Whenever I go on holiday or on a work trip, I also make sure to run in those places. So tomorrow I'm going to Berlin, for instance, for a week with work, and I'll be running there. So I really capitalise on where I am and running in those places. I try not to make that many special trips just to go running. On a Sunday I will, I drive down to the coast, which is not very far. But basically, when it comes to day-to-day running, like fitting in a 5-6k run in the afternoon on a weekday, that's really easy because I literally just leave my house and go running. I don't have to faff around, I don't have to find somewhere to go, I don't have to find parking, I don't have to do any of that. So, location. Now, I've chosen this location for this actual reason. One of the main reasons why I moved out of the city centre and here, is because I can't get enough of mud. Is because I really value being close to the trails, being able to run straight onto the trails from my house without having to run through that much urbanness, you know? And so again, that comes down to where you are, what country you live in, your financial situation, your responsibilities, where you have to get to work. All of that kind of stuff plays into where you choose to live, or where you're forced to live in some places. But me, living here and having chosen to live here, which has its inconveniences, don't get me wrong, but I do feel incredibly lucky to live here. But that's another big factor in why I can find time to go on beautiful runs and beautiful bike rides, is because I can go from my front door. So I've talked before, and I will talk again, about loads of cool stuff that you can do to build more time into your life for getting outside. And I think it's really, really valuable and important to your health, to your mental well-being, all of these things. But at the same time, when you go onto YouTube and Instagram and you see all these people running and cycling in all these great places, or you know, whatever they seem to do all the time, they seem to have all this time to get outdoors, chances are one, two, or all of these reasons that I've shared today play a factor in how that person has that much time to get outside. So you might not have those reasons, so really try not to compare your time and to blame yourself and to think you just need to get more productive and you need to organise your life better and all of these things. Like, sure, there's an element of we can all improve the way we use our time, but it will often be the case that some of these reasons just can't align for you, that they just don't fit into your life in the way that they fit into mine or somebody else's. So don't feel bad about that. I hope you found this helpful and that it sheds a little bit of light on how I have the time that I do and look like I do, and why perhaps you don't always have the same amount of time that I do. So thanks for coming along on this run. I'm now going to run home and I will see you in the next one. Bye.